In this video, you will discover the secrets that have been hidden since the beginning of the takeover. In the shadows of Old Trafford's fading glory, whispers of betrayal echo through the stands. A family from across the ocean, their eyes set on power, their hands on the heart of Manchester. Once a club of tradition, of Busby's dream and Ferguson's fire, now a pawn in a silent game of greed. They studied the numbers, traced the debts, waited for the perfect crack in the fortress walls. The faithful wore red and white, blind to the storm gathering on the horizon's edge. The first shares changed hands quietly, like thieves trading secrets under a moonless sky. Corporate smiles masked the hooks sinking into the club's proud veins. Bankers and brokers toasted in hidden rooms, sealing a fate the fans could not yet see. Old Trafford stood proud, but the rot had already begun beneath its sacred turf. A predator's patience waited, and the Glazers moved closer, step by step, unseen. The leveraged buyout was a masterstroke of silent violence dressed in legal paper. A debt-driven dagger plunged deep into a debt-free giant, bleeding it for control. Loans piled high upon the club's shoulders, interest whispering like a curse in the boardroom. The Glazers signed their names, smiling, while the soul of Manchester United was mortgaged. Old Trafford's lights still burned bright, but beneath them, freedom was quietly sold. Supporters chanted anthems of victory, unaware of the noose tightening. Bank vaults clinked with United's future, transformed into numbers on a balance sheet. Ferguson's men still fought on the pitch, masking the storm that brewed behind the scenes. The fans would only awaken when the debt's shadow darkened every corner of the club. And by then, the Glazers had taken the throne, their grip unbreakable, their secrets locked away. Then came the outrage, raw and loud, painted in green and gold like the club's birthright. Scarves of protest filled the terraces, a rebellion dressed in history's colors. FC United of Manchester was born, a phoenix of defiance rising from betrayal. Placards cursed the Glazers' name, songs of anger echoed through Salford streets. Yet the family held firm, their silence louder than any fan's roar. Dividends dripped like blood money while the club's debts grew heavier each season. Transfer windows closed with promises unmet, as the profits fed their private coffers. The faithful marched, their voices cracking the night, but power remained distant, untouchable. Old Trafford felt colder, the theater of dreams now a stage for corporate greed. And still, the Glazers smiled, their takeover complete, their secrets buried deep beneath the pitch. If you're enjoying this dark story, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more hidden truths from football's shadow side. Underneath the theater of dreams, a storm gathers where shadows meet steel. The terraces remember glory, but the air is heavy with unseen hands pulling strings. Bankers toast in distant towers while debt tightens its grip on Manchester's crown. The Glazers' signatures bleed across contracts like invisible scars on a giant's heart. Green and gold banners ripple like ghosts of Newton Heath in the biting wind. Supporters chant rebellion, their voices cracking the night like shattered glass. Every dividend withdrawn is another vein drained of the club's lifeblood. Ferguson fights on the pitch, masking the rot that creeps beneath the scoreboard lights. The boardroom hums with quiet deals, sealed far from the roar of the Stretford end. FC United's birth is a spark in the dark, a reminder that passion can outlive betrayal. Old Trafford's bricks whisper history, but their echo is drowned by corporate laughter. Cameras flash victories, but the headlines hide the cost beneath polished smiles. A debt-free titan shackled by loans becomes a warning carved in football's history. Agents and investors circle like vultures, feeding on tradition's carcass. Supporters march through Salford, their scarves like torches in a silent war. But power sits oceans away, untouched by the cries of a wounded city. The Glazers grip titans, their influence spreading through corridors of money and might. Every transfer delayed, every promise broken, fuels the fury in the terraces. The green and gold movement grows, its colors a code for resistance whispered in pubs. Legends of the club watch in silence, their statues cold under Manchester rain. The Super League dream flickers in secret meetings, a plan of greed wrapped in ambition. Whispers of betrayal travel faster than the roar of a last-minute goal. The faithful wonder if the badge still belongs to them or to a balance sheet. Debt payments echo like footsteps in an empty corridor after the crowd has gone. The scoreboard shines, but the foundation beneath trembles under the weight of greed. Supporters remember Munich's fallen, Busby's dream, and feel the sting of dishonor. A club once owned by its people now serves faceless financiers' hunger. The Stretford End roars defiance, a chorus against invisible kings. Glazer's empire feeds on silence, on contracts no fan will ever see. Even in victory, there is a taste of ash, a reminder of stolen dreams. Fans hold up banners, Love United, Hate Glazer, beneath grey Manchester skies. Every pound spent feels like a drop stolen from a sacred well. Debt figures climb like ivy on Old Trafford's sacred walls. Investors clap politely in skyboxes, blind to the soul they've sold. Green and gold scarves flutter like battle flags in a storm of apathy. This is more than football, it is identity, pride, a city's heartbeat under siege. The Glazers' secrets are locked behind polished smiles and offshore accounts. A legend's home becomes an asset, a dream becomes a revenue stream. The theater of dreams dims under fluorescent boardroom lights. Every roar from the pitch is muffled by the rustle of financial papers. The takeover was never just a deal, it was a slow theft of spirit and song. The faithful's anger burns hotter than floodlights on a derby night. History watches, unblinking, as tradition is traded for profit. The terraces hold their breath, wondering if hope can outlast greed. Each chant is a blade, cutting through the silence of corporate power. Manchester United stands, proud yet wounded, a giant bound by invisible chains. The Glazers remain unmoved, their hands steady on the levers of control. And beneath the banners, the storm grows louder, a warning the world must hear. Green and gold waves across the terraces, a rebellion wrapped in history's colors. Every scarf a quiet dagger aimed at the heart of silent ownership. Pubs hum with anger, chants forged like weapons in the furnace of betrayal. FC United's crest glows like a lantern for those unwilling to bow to greed. In back alleys and message boards, plans are whispered like forbidden prayers. Debt mounts higher, interest gnaws like rust on sacred steel beams. The Glazers sip champagne oceans away, deaf to the thunder in Salford streets. Ferguson shields the players, but even his legacy cannot mask the scars. The press prints victories but buries the cost beneath polite headlines. The Stretford End roars louder, its echoes rattling the walls of boardrooms. Old Trafford shakes with history's rage, but contracts hold firmer than chains. Green and gold becomes a movement, a heartbeat of resistance against cold finance. The faithful remember the Busby babes, their memory a rallying cry. Each dividend withdrawn feels like another betrayal carved in stone. The takeover's shadow stretches across generations, dimming future dreams. Every missed transfer, every broken promise feeds the flames of fury. In the theater of dreams, ghosts of legends watch silently, fists clenched. Protests swell like storms, yet the empire of debt remains unmoved. Bankers count profits while banners declare war against invisible kings. The city's pride bleeds, but its spirit refuses to bow. Every chant outside Old Trafford is a blade of truth slicing through corporate lies. Green and gold scarves twist in the wind like silent cries for justice. The takeover was not a moment, it is a wound that will not close. History judges quietly, but the terraces scream for reckoning. The faithful's anger is older than the debt, older than the Glazers' greed. Old Trafford's bricks absorb the chants, holding them like sacred oaths. Each protester is a keeper of memory, a defender of what football should be. The banners read, "We are united, not for sale," under grey Manchester skies. The rain washes the pavement but cannot cleanse the betrayal. Ferguson's successes mask the rot for a while, but truth seeps through. The club's soul is not a line item, not a dividend, it is a heartbeat shared by millions. And that heartbeat grows louder, echoing through every empty promise. Green and gold becomes not just a protest but a pledge to never forget. The Glazers' silence is a fortress, but even fortresses can crumble. Debt shackles tighten, yet the faithful sharpen their voices like swords. The city whispers legends of Cantona, Best, and Giggs as if summoning ghosts. The terraces roar defiance, drowning out the rustle of banknotes. This is not just football, it is identity under siege. The boardroom's lights glow cold while Salford's fires of anger burn warm. Even in victory, the faithful taste bitterness on their tongues. The storm clouds gather heavier, charged with history's fury. Every chant, every march is a thread in a larger tapestry of rebellion. The theater of dreams becomes a battlefield of memory and money. And through it all, the Glazers remain unmoved, smiling in distant shadows. Yet whispers grow into thunder, and thunder into a reckoning. The city holds its breath, knowing storms break even the strongest walls. If you're enjoying this dark story, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more hidden truths from football's shadow side. The leveraged chains bite deeper, interest payments gnawing at United's bones. The Glazers' empire feeds on silence, yet cracks begin to spider across its surface. Fans gather outside Old Trafford, their voices a chorus of wounded pride. The Super League scheme flickers, a secret plan of greed wrapped in ambition. Perez and the Glazers plot in quiet rooms, dreaming of locked gates and endless cash. But football's soul resists, its heartbeat too wild to be caged by profit. Green and gold scarves become torches, lighting the night with defiance. Social media ignites, the world watches Manchester rise against betrayal. Banners stretch across bridges, created by the poor, stolen by the rich. Every matchday protest grows louder, shaking the foundations of quiet power. The Stretford End roars not just for goals, but for justice denied too long. Debt figures climb like ivy, creeping over Old Trafford's red walls. Papers print rumors of transfers, but fans see only balance sheets. The Theatre of Dreams feels hollow, its magic dimmed by corporate hands. Ferguson's ghostly presence lingers, a reminder of what once was sacred. Boardrooms in Florida echo with laughter, oceans away from Salford's pain. The Super League dies under the weight of fan fury, a rare victory for the faithful. Yet the Glazers survive, their grip unbroken, their secrets unspilled. Protesters breach Old Trafford, a symbolic reclaiming of stolen ground. The pitch becomes a battlefield, not for goals but for dignity. Police lights flash like warnings, but the chants drown them out. The world sees Manchester United fans not as supporters, but as defenders of tradition. The debt remains, the dividends flow, the anger simmers hotter. Legend statues stand watch, silent witnesses to betrayal. Green and gold becomes a language, a code, a promise whispered in pubs. The Glazers issue statements of regret, but their actions betray indifference. Supporters vow to fight on, even as headlines move to fresher scandals. The city's veins run red with history, and history does not forget. The takeover's story is now a lesson etched in football's conscience. Even rivals nod in respect at the scale of the rebellion. The Super League fiasco exposes the arrogance of power unchecked. Debt shackles rattle louder with each passing season. Yet the faithful's anger is patient, a storm biding its time. The Theatre of Dreams is scarred, but scars can become symbols of survival. The Glazers retreat to their fortresses of wealth, blind to the storm's approach. Every fan chant is a drumbeat against tyranny. Old Trafford's floodlights burn, but the darkness grows around them. The takeover is no longer a secret, it is a scar, a warning. FC United's small stadium hums with hope, a spark of what football could be. And in every pub, every street, whispers of revolt grow louder. The storm has not passed, it waits, gathering strength for the final reckoning. Years pass, but the wound remains open, raw beneath the surface. Young fans learn the colors green and gold before they learn the chants. The takeover is not history, it is the present, bleeding into tomorrow. Every trophy lifted feels tainted, a reminder of stolen purity. The Glazers count profits while Manchester counts scars. Old Trafford's bricks hold memories of Busby's dream and Munich's fallen. Supporters tell the story like a warning, never let them steal your soul. The city's pride is a living thing, too fierce to be silenced. Even victories are haunted, their cheers edged with bitterness. Green and gold scarves hang like flags of defiance in bedroom windows. FC United thrives quietly, a reminder that football can belong to the people. The Super League debacle lingers, proof that greed can stumble. But the Glazers remain, shadows on the club's crest, unyielding. Every protest is a heartbeat, every chant a blade. Debt numbers fill spreadsheets, but they cannot measure love or rage. Fans teach their children the truth, passing rebellion like an heirloom. The Theatre of Dreams is both shrine and battlefield. The press asks if the anger will fade, but Manchester knows better. History burns too brightly to be extinguished by profit. Pubs echo with stories of Ferguson's fire and the Glazers' betrayal. Rival fans watch, some mocking, some nodding in grim understanding. The takeover becomes folklore, a cautionary tale whispered across terraces. Legends' ghosts seem to linger longer, restless in the stadium's corners. Green and gold banners age, their colors fading but their meaning deepening. The faithful still sing, even when the scoreline hurts. Every match day is a reminder. This fight is not over. The Glazers issue polished statements, but their silence speaks louder. Debt interest bleeds millions each year, invisible but crushing. The city endures, scarred but proud, unwilling to forget. Chants rise like thunderclaps in winter air. The takeover is not just a chapter, it is the book itself. FC United's small victories feel like moral triumphs. The faithful's anger is a river, carving through stone over time. Even the floodlights seem dimmer under the weight of history. Children wear green and gold, inheriting their parents' defiance. The Glazers' faces appear on protest posters, villains of a modern saga. Old Trafford's gates creak under the pressure of expectation and rage. The storm has not broken yet, but its lightning flashes on distant horizons. Manchester United stands wounded yet proud, a giant still chained. And in every heart that bleeds red, there is a promise: the fight continues. The theater of dreams will not bow forever, the reckoning waits in the wings. Echoes of 1999 still thunder in the theater of dreams, a miracle night carved in history. Solskjaer's late strike, Sheringham's equalizer, memories of glory still burn in the faithful's hearts. But beneath the banners of triumph, a darker story festers in the shadows. The Glazers' debts grow like ivy, strangling the soul once fed by Busby's dream. Green and gold scarves wave beside faded photos of treble-winning heroes. Old Trafford hums with ghosts, their cheers now laced with bitterness. A city that once roared with pride now whispers warnings in the rain. Legends' names echo in chants that are part hymn, part war cry. The boardroom counts profits while terraces count scars. The faithful clutch memories like shields against a creeping betrayal. Bankers' signatures replaced the roar of last-minute goals. The Stretford End watches, defiant, beneath grey Manchester skies. Even victories feel hollow, coated in the dust of forgotten promises. Ferguson's legacy stands like a monument, but monuments cannot stop rot. Supporters teach children about nights in Barcelona, not balance sheets. Yet the present mocks the past, debt towering over dreams like storm clouds. Pubs buzz with stories of York, Cole, and Keane, tales of defiance and fire. Now whispers of leveraged buyouts drown out the songs of heroes past. Green and gold becomes more than colors, it is a rebellion's heartbeat. The city clings to its history, refusing to let greed rewrite its soul. Every match is a protest, every cheer a reminder of what was stolen. The Glazers' empire feeds on silence, but Manchester refuses to stay quiet. From Salford to Stretford, the air vibrates with anger and memory. Children wear replica kits but wrap themselves in green and gold scarves. Old Trafford's bricks are heavy with memory, heavier with betrayal. Debt is an invisible chain dragging the club into uncertainty. Supporters march, their voices cracking but unbroken. In every chant lies a promise: the club belongs to its people. The Glazers' distance only sharpens the city's defiance. Even rivals whisper respect for the fury of the faithful. The treble's glory is a bright light against the takeover's darkness. 1999 is a memory wielded like a sword against greed's shadow. The theater of dreams remains sacred ground, scarred but unbowed. The Glazers' smiles cannot erase the pain in the terraces. Fans recall Munich, Busby, Ferguson, a lineage not for sale. The storm gathers strength, each protest a gust of defiance. Manchester United's crest is more than a brand, it is a city's heartbeat. Corporate hands may hold the shares, but not the soul. The Stretford End roars, and the world remembers. Even in defeat, the faithful sing louder than balance sheets. The takeover is a wound carved deep into football's history. And through the rage and sorrow, the promise remains: United is not for sale. The Super League whispers return, a spectre haunting football's fragile soul. Florentino Perez and the Glazers conspire, dreaming of locked gates and endless gold. But the faithful remember the last rebellion, the storm that shattered greed's plan. Green and gold scarves swirl like storm clouds above Old Trafford. Pubs erupt with anger, social feeds blaze with fury and defiance. The world watches Manchester once again become the epicenter of resistance. Boardrooms draft schemes in polished silence, blind to the roar outside. The Stretford End's chants are thunderbolts, shaking the walls of power. Debt still bleeds the club, invisible but relentless. Legend statues stand watch, cold witnesses to betrayal. Supporters breach barriers, reclaiming their ground if only for a moment. The Theatre of Dreams becomes a fortress of the people, a shrine of rebellion. 1999's echoes clash with the whispers of corporate greed. Ferguson's shadow looms large, a reminder of glory not built on profit. Every dividend withdrawn is a wound reopened. Even rivals nod, seeing in Manchester a fight bigger than a single club. The Glazers remain silent, their distance a shield against shame. Green and gold colors glow under floodlights like battle standards. Old Trafford breathes defiance, its bricks humming with memory. The takeover's scars deepen, but scars are also signs of survival. Children learn the chants before they learn the rules of the game. FC United thrives quietly, proof that football can be reclaimed. Supporters vow, never again will they steal our soul. The Super League scheme collapses once more under pressure of rage. The city's heartbeat grows louder, echoing through the rainy streets. Banners stretch across bridges, their messages carved in anger. The faithful's anger is not fleeting, it is generational. Even in celebration, there is bitterness on the tongue. The Glazers' wealth grows, but so does the city's defiance. History weighs heavy on the Theatre of Dreams. Each chant outside the stadium is a crack in corporate armor. The storm gathers strength, waiting for the moment to strike. Football is more than business, it is identity, memory, and pride. The Glazers may own the shares, but they do not own the soul. Green and gold flames burn in the hearts of the faithful. Old Trafford stands as a monument to resilience and rage. Every march, every banner, every chant keeps the story alive. Even as debt chains rattle, hope whispers through the terraces. The faithful will not bow, their city will not kneel. Manchester United remains a giant, wounded but unbroken. And the world watches, waiting for the reckoning still to come. Under grey skies, Manchester's streets hum with memory and fury. The takeover story has become legend, passed down like a cautionary tale. 1999's miracle is retold in pubs, a shield against despair. The faithful cling to history as if to steady a trembling giant. The Glazers' dividends drip like water torture, relentless and cold. Debt chains rattle quietly, but the terraces hear their echo. Green and gold banners hang from balconies like battle flags. Old Trafford looms, sacred and scarred, a cathedral under siege. Ferguson's ghostly presence lingers, watching the betrayal unfold. FC United's chants drift through the air, reminders of defiance. The Super League's corpse lies in the shadows, a warning unheeded. Corporate smiles hide nervous glances, the storm has not passed. The faithful's anger smolders, a fire fed by memory and love. Each chant is a drumbeat, each march a declaration of war. Even rivals acknowledge the scale of Manchester's fight. The Theatre of Dreams is no playground for profiteers. It is a battlefield where tradition faces modern greed. Children ask why their club feels broken, and parents whisper the truth. Every ticket bought feels like a reluctant surrender. Yet the faithful stand, unyielding beneath the rain. Green and gold scarves twist in the wind like oaths unbroken. The takeover scars will outlast balance sheets and dividends. But scars are also proof of survival, proof of fight. Legends' names echo in the terraces, calling for justice. The Glazers sit oceans away, unmoved, untouched. Debt continues to feed on the club's lifeblood. But Manchester's heart beats louder than any spreadsheet. The Super League fiasco haunts boardrooms and strengthens fans' resolve. Even victories feel bittersweet, shadows creeping over celebrations. The Stretford End roars, a defiant hymn against silence. Supporters vow to guard the club's soul with every breath. Old Trafford's floodlights glow, but beneath them burns a fire of rebellion. The faithful's chants weave a tapestry of memory and defiance. Every scarf, every banner is a weapon against forgetting. This is not just football, it is a fight for identity. The city's pride is carved in stone and song, not contracts. The Glazers' grip may hold the shares, but not the spirit. Manchester United remains a giant, scarred but alive. And somewhere in the terraces, a new generation learns the truth. The story is not over, it is still being written under stormy skies. The theater of dreams waits for the day its soul is reclaimed. Across the oceans, in bars from New York to Nairobi, screens glow with Old Trafford's pain. The Glazers' shadow stretches far beyond Salford's rainy streets. Supporters' clubs in Asia and America echo the chants of the Stretford End. Green and gold scarves are mailed across continents, silent pledges of rebellion. A boy in Sao Paulo learns of Munich's fallen before learning the club's anthem. Yet even he feels the weight of debt and betrayal in the club he adores. The Theatre of Dreams is a beacon, but now its light flickers under corporate hands. Manchester's grief becomes a global outcry, a warning whispered in many tongues. Legends' goals replay on smartphones, but under them is a question: who owns this dream? The Glazers' dividends are numbers on screens, detached from the faces that bleed for the badge. Even victories abroad taste bitter to those who know the price paid. The 1999 miracle is retold in Tokyo pubs like a sacred scripture. But alongside it, the takeover story is passed down as a tale of greed. FC United's story travels the world, proof that resistance can grow anywhere. Children in distant cities wear green and gold as if to claim a piece of the fight. Old Trafford's name is spoken with reverence and sorrow on every continent. The roar of the Stretford End becomes a song of defiance that circles the globe. Debt and dividends are words that now sit beside Busby and Best. Every scarf shipped overseas is another ember of rebellion. Manchester's reign becomes a metaphor in global protests. The Glazers' empire feeds on silence, but the world will not stay silent. Fans in Melbourne and Mumbai sing the same angry hymns. Corporate hands cannot cage a spirit that spans the world. The Theatre of Dreams has become a battlefield watched by millions. Each chant in Manchester echoes across oceans like distant thunder. Even rivals admit the Glazers misjudged the soul of football. The Super League fiasco unites enemies against a common greed. The faithful across the globe promise to keep history alive. Even as debt chains rattle, hope weaves through distant crowds. The Glazers' power is strong, but stronger is a billion voices in unison. Banners in multiple languages say the same thing: love United, hate Glazer. Old Trafford's floodlights shine on more than a city, they light a global rebellion. From Nairobi to Naples, pubs erupt when Manchester scores. But cheers are tinged with anger, a reminder of stolen dreams. Legend statues in Manchester cast long shadows that reach the world. The club's crest on a child's jersey is a quiet act of defiance. Even far from Salford, fans feel part of the fight. The takeover's story has become a parable of football's soul. Debt is no longer a number, it is a villain in a global tale. Manchester stands at the center of a worldwide movement. The Stretford End's roar is a war cry carried on the wind. The Glazers remain unmoved, but the world grows restless. History and heritage stand united against balance sheets. The Theatre of Dreams still breathes, wounded but unbroken. And the world waits, eyes fixed on Manchester, for the storm's next strike. In Manchester's pubs, old men speak of Busby's boys and the promise of youth. They remember George Best dancing past defenders like a ghost in red. They tell stories of Cantona's swagger, of Keane's fury and Giggs' grace. These tales are shields against the slow erosion of their club's soul. The Glazers' debt is a silent thief, stealing joy one dividend at a time. Green and gold ribbons hang in windows like quiet acts of war. The Super League debacle lingers like a bitter taste in every cheer. Old Trafford's bricks absorb the songs and the sorrow alike. The faithful chant through tears, refusing to bow to corporate kings. The Theatre of Dreams becomes a fortress of memory and defiance. Legends' names, Charlton, Scholes, Ronaldo, are invoked like spells. Even children sense the weight of history pressing on every match. The Glazers sit far away, untouched by the heartbreak they harvest. Debt figures rise, but so does the volume of the chants. The 1999 miracle is a torch passed down, a beacon in the darkness. But torches can become weapons when shadows grow too deep. FC United's modest grounds buzz with pride, a reminder of reclaimed dignity. The faithful sing not just for victory, but for identity. Every goal scored feels like a small act of rebellion. The world watches, some with pity, some with awe. Even rivals nod quietly at Manchester's defiance. The Super League's ghost hovers in boardrooms, daring greed to try again. Fans promise they will rise again if the need returns. Green and gold banners flutter like restless spirits in the stands. Manchester's rain washes the streets, but not the anger. Old Trafford stands proud, but scarred from the takeover's claws. Every scarf held high is a vow to guard the club's soul. The faithful's anger is carved into the walls of the city. Legend statues stand watch, witnesses to both glory and betrayal. The Glazers' silence is a provocation, a reminder of their distance. The takeover is a wound, but wounds can harden into armor. Every protest is a story told to future generations. The Theatre of Dreams hums with a defiance that money cannot buy. Children learn the chants as lullabies of rebellion. Manchester United's name is more than a brand, it is a banner of resistance. Corporate hands may clutch the shares, but not the memories. Green and gold flames burn in the hearts of millions. The takeover's story is football's cautionary tale. Even under floodlights, the shadows of betrayal stretch long. The faithful's voices rise higher than any dividend chart. Old Trafford breathes with the weight of expectation and pride. The city waits, patient and unyielding, for justice. And somewhere, under grey skies, the next Busby boy is watching. On European nights, Old Trafford still trembles with electricity. The Champions League anthem plays, but its echo is bittersweet. The faithful remember nights of Ferguson's miracles and Scholl's thunderbolts. They remember Rooney's overhead against City, Ronaldo's brilliance in red. These memories are armor against the creeping shadow of the takeover. Green and gold scarves glow under the floodlights like rebel torches. The Glazers' shadow lurks even on nights of triumph. Debt whispers in the corners, even as the crowd roars. The Theatre of Dreams is both sacred ground and stolen treasure. Supporters sing louder to drown out the sound of balance sheets. The Super League's ghost haunts the boardroom corridors. Legends' eyes in photographs seem to watch with quiet judgment. The faithful cling to their heritage like sailors to a mast in a storm. Even rivals feel the weight of what's at stake for football's soul. The Glazers smile from afar, blind to the fire they've lit. Each dividend withdrawn is another insult carved into memory. The treble's glory feels like a distant star in a dark sky. Yet that star still guides the faithful through the storm. Green and gold ribbons wave in the cold Manchester wind. FC United's chants echo faintly, a reminder of resistance's power. Old Trafford hums like a living thing, bruised but unbroken. The city's pride is stitched into every seat and scarf. The Glazers' distance only fuels the fury. Debt is an invisible chain rattling beneath the surface of every match. The faithful's anger burns hotter than Derby floodlights. 1999's echoes clash with the present's cold realities. The takeover scars are now part of the club's fabric. Supporters vow to write a new chapter, one not stained by greed. Corporate hands cannot cage the heartbeat of a city. Even in victory, the faithful feel the weight of betrayal. The Theatre of Dreams is a battlefield where tradition fights for survival. Banners ripple like waves, crashing against walls of indifference. The world watches, holding its breath for the next uprising. The faithful whisper Busby's name like a prayer. The Glazers underestimate the depth of memory and pride. Every march, every banner, every chant keeps the story alive. Debt may strangle the club's finances, but not its soul. Legend spirits seem to hover, urging defiance from the stands. Green and gold is no fad, it is a covenant. Manchester United remains more than a club, it is an idea. And as long as the faithful breathe, that idea will never die. The April sky over Manchester darkens as thousands march toward Old Trafford. Green and gold scarves whip in the wind like battle flags. Chants rise like thunder rolling through the streets of Salford. Banners stretch across bridges, their words a wound made visible. The faithful move as one, a living tide against corporate greed. Outside the Theatre of Dreams, the air hums with electric defiance. The Glazers' silence is shattered by the roar of the people. Children on their parents' shoulders hold signs demanding justice. The 2021 blockade of Old Trafford is etched into football's memory. Security lines falter as the crowd swells like a gathering storm. Inside the stadium, empty seats bear witness to a city's fury. Broadcast cameras catch a rebellion that spans the globe. The Glazers' empire trembles as headlines ignite the world. For a moment, Manchester reclaims its fortress. Debt and dividends are drowned out by defiant voices. Legend statues seem to lean forward, listening to the uproar. The ghosts of Busby's boys march alongside the living. A helicopter circles, but it cannot contain the rage below. This is more than protest, it is heritage defending itself. Green and gold scarves ripple like fire under gray clouds. The Stretford End is silent only because its people are outside, roaring. Even rivals pause to watch, respecting the scale of the stand. The Glazers' distance is a shield, but no shield is unbreakable. Old Trafford's gates groan under the pressure of a city's will. The faithful's anger is older than the debts that bind the club. FC United's chants echo faintly, a reminder of rebellion's spark. The Super League's corpse lies fresh, its arrogance exposed. Every camera captures not chaos, but conviction. Parents tell their children, remember this day. The takeover's scars become battle marks of survival. Debt may control finances, but not the spirit that fills these streets. Legends' names are shouted like war cries against the storm. Corporate power meets the immovable force of memory. The faithful's footsteps shake Manchester's very foundation. Even the rain feels like applause for their defiance. The Glazers' control feels brittle beneath the weight of history. The Theatre of Dreams waits, silent but proud, for its people's return. And as the crowd disperses, the storm has not ended, it has only begun. That day in 2021 becomes a story whispered across generations. Grandparents tell grandchildren how they saw Manchester rise. Green and gold scarves are folded carefully, relics of rebellion. The faithful remember the faces in the crowd, strangers made family. Pubs replay footage of the blockade like a sacred match highlight. Even rivals retell the story, grudgingly impressed. The Glazers retreat behind polished statements and lawyers' words. But the faithful know the truth. Power had been challenged. Debt remains, a parasite feeding on a wounded giant. Old Trafford's bricks hold the echo of chants that shook the world. The Theatre of Dreams is not just a stadium, it is a monument. Legend's eyes in photos seem brighter, proud of the defiance. The faithful's voices are tired but unbroken. Every protest teaches the next generation the value of pride. The Super League's failure is a trophy of resistance. FC United's existence is a quiet reminder of alternatives. Manchester's reign washes banners but not memories. Even in defeat, the faithful celebrate survival. Corporate greed underestimates the depth of identity. The Glazers' distance fuels the faithful's resolve. From Salford to Sydney, fans recount the uprising. Children learn the chants before they can name all the players. The 1999 miracle is sung alongside 2021's defiance. Every march is a chapter in football's unwritten history. Old Trafford's floodlights shine on scars and stories alike. Debt chains rattle quietly, but chants drown them out. Green and gold ribbons adorn even rival pubs in solidarity. The faithful's anger is both grief and hope intertwined. The Theatre of Dreams hums with quiet rebellion. Legend spirits seem to walk the pitch on protest nights. Every goal scored now feels like a statement, not just a victory. The world watches, waiting for the next eruption. Corporate hands may own the club, but not its heart. The Glazers underestimate the fury of memory. Manchester United remains a symbol of more than football. Pride and pain fuse in the city's veins like iron and fire. Even the young feel the weight of tradition. The blockade becomes folklore, a warning to the powerful. The faithful songs carry across oceans like distant thunder. Old Trafford waits, knowing its people will return. The rain falls, but the fire in Manchester does not fade. And in the silence after the chants, hope breathes again. Beyond the city limits, the story becomes a global anthem. Supporters clubs from Lagos to Los Angeles replay the blockade footage. Green and gold scarves sell out as symbols of solidarity. The faithful abroad chant in foreign tongues but with the same fire. The Glazers' empire feels smaller under the weight of worldwide defiance. Old Trafford's name is spoken with reverence in distant bars. Even rivals fans admit admiration for Manchester's stand. The Super League's failure sends tremors through boardrooms. Debt remains, but so does an unbreakable spirit. Legends photos hang in bedrooms oceans away, eyes blazing with pride. The Theater of Dreams becomes a rallying point for global fans. Every match becomes more than sport, it is resistance in motion. Parents teach their children the songs of 1999 and 2021. The faithful's anger transforms into a movement that spans borders. Corporate power begins to sense its limits. Manchester's reign becomes a metaphor on banners worldwide. Even in small villages, children wear green and gold proudly. The Glazers' grip loosens under the pressure of billions of eyes. The world sees that football is not just business, it is belonging. The faithful's chants are now sung on 5 continents. Debt figures flash on screens, but they cannot compete with passion. The Super League fiasco is remembered as a line never to be crossed. FC United's story inspires other communities to reclaim their clubs. Old Trafford hums like a living legend, bruised but defiant. The Theater of Dreams is a fortress against forgetting. Even victories feel sharper now, weighted with meaning. Green and gold is no trend, it is a testament. Legend spirits seem to guide the faithful's fight. The world watches, waiting for the next spark. The Glazers retreat into silence once more. But silence is not safety when history watches. Manchester United is not a commodity, it is a covenant. The faithful vow to guard its soul at any cost. Every chant abroad strengthens those on home soil. The blockade of 2021 becomes football folklore. Corporate greed has learned the city's name the hard way. Even in quiet moments, the storm simmers. Old Trafford's bricks glow under floodlights like embers. The faithful's fire will not be extinguished. And somewhere, a child sings a chant that keeps the story alive. Night settles over Manchester like a shroud, the streets slick with rain and memory. Old Trafford stands silent, but inside its bricks, the heartbeat of a city thrums. The Glazers' shadow stretches long, but shadows retreat before fire. Green and gold scarves hang in windows like quiet war banners. Legends' names are whispered like prayers before a storm. The faithful gather in pubs, their voices low but resolute. Debt figures flash on screens, cold numbers that cannot measure passion. The Super League's ghost flickers at the edges of boardrooms. But the faithful's defiance is a flame that will not die. From Salford's terraces to Sao Paulo streets, the story is retold. The Theater of Dreams is wounded, but wounds can harden into armor. Every chant is a drumbeat calling the city to remember. Corporate power trembles, sensing the ground shifting beneath it. Legend statues seem to lean forward, listening for what comes next. The faithful's anger is no longer rage alone, it is strategy, unity, resolve. Old Trafford's floodlights blaze against the encroaching dark. The 1999 miracle is invoked like a spell against despair. Even rivals watch closely, knowing this is bigger than football. Green and gold flames dance in the rain-soaked night. Parents teach children that football is identity, not business. The blockade of 2021 has become a spark that refuses to fade. Debt is an enemy that cannot understand love or loyalty. Manchester United remains a symbol of pride and defiance. The Glazers' distance is both their shield and their weakness. The faithful's footsteps echo like thunder in empty corridors. FC United thrives quietly, proof that rebellion can take root. The Super League's failure is a scar the greedy cannot hide. Every banner raised is a promise kept across generations. Even the cold wind carries chants through Manchester's streets. Legends' ghosts hover, urging the faithful to stand firm. The Theater of Dreams is more than a stadium, it is sacred ground. Corporate greed cannot comprehend sacred ground. The faithful's fire burns hotter as the storm gathers. Every pint raised in a pub is a toast to survival. Manchester's rain washes streets but not memories. Even in quiet, the city hums with rebellion's song. The Glazers' empire feels brittle under invisible pressure. Green and gold ribbons flutter like restless spirits in the wind. Debt chains rattle, but the sound is drowned by defiance. Legend's eyes in old photographs seem to burn brighter tonight. The world watches, breath held, for what Manchester will do next. The faithful's unity is a weapon stronger than contracts. Old Trafford waits, its floodlights like watchful sentinels. And in the dark, a whisper spreads, the storm is not over. Morning breaks over Manchester with a pale sun cutting through fog. The faithful wake to headlines of corporate arrogance and betrayal. Yet alongside the anger, there is hope, a fragile but fierce flame. Old Trafford's silhouette looms like a guardian over the city. Green and gold scarves are pulled tight against the chill. Children walk to school humming chants older than their teachers. The Glazers remain silent, but silence cannot smother truth. The Super League's corpse still lies in the corner, a warning to all. Debt figures rise, but so does the will to fight. Pubs buzz with quiet plans, the next march already imagined. Legends' names echo in conversations like guiding stars. The theater of dreams is bruised, but pride stitches its wounds. Even rivals whisper admiration for the faithful's resolve. FC United's humble pitch feels like hallowed ground to some. Manchester's streets carry the weight of history with every footstep. Green and gold banners flap in the breeze like stubborn defiance. The blockade of 2021 is no longer a moment, it is a movement. Every scarf is a declaration that the soul of football is not for sale. Debt may choke the club's finances, but it cannot choke a city's pride. The faithful's chants rise again, louder than the day before. Corporate power feels the pressure of watchful eyes worldwide. Legends' statues stand silent but seem ready to march. The Super League's whispers dare not grow louder under this sky. The theater of dreams hums with electricity even in silence. Parents tell their children to guard the crest like a family heirloom. Even victories on the pitch feel like acts of rebellion now. The Glazers underestimate the strength of collective memory. Manchester United is more than profit margins and shareholders. The faithful vow to write their own ending to this story. Green and gold flames flicker in pubs and stadium seats alike. Debt becomes the villain in every tale told. Even casual fans begin to understand the stakes. The blockade has inspired movements beyond football. The world watches, learning what defiance looks like. Old Trafford glows beneath the morning sun like a promise kept. The faithful's anger has matured into enduring resolve. Legends' ghosts walk unseen beside the living. Every match ticket bought feels like a reluctant battle flag. The Glazers may own the shares, but not the memories. Manchester's reign begins again, steady and unyielding. The storm builds once more, patient and unstoppable. The faithful's unity grows stronger with each retelling. The theater of dreams waits, knowing history is on its side. And somewhere, in the crowd, the next hero is waiting to rise. As dusk falls, Manchester hums with restless energy. The faithful gather once more, a city united in purpose. Old Trafford's lights blaze like torches in the twilight. Green and gold banners snap in the wind, fierce and proud. The Glazers' empire trembles beneath the weight of memory. Legends' names are shouted into the evening air. The 1999 miracle is sung like a hymn against the dark. Debt figures mean nothing in the face of such devotion. The Super League's ghost drifts away under the roar of defiance. Parents lift their children onto shoulders, passing down tradition. The faithful's chants swell until they feel like an earthquake. Even rivals pause, sensing something greater than rivalry here. The theater of dreams is alive, pulsing with history and anger. Corporate power tightens its grip but feels the strain. FC United's story whispers through the crowd like a secret promise. The blockade of 2021 glows in memory like embers in the night. Green and gold flames flicker under the floodlights. Every scarf held high is a blade of resistance. The Glazers remain silent, but silence is fragile. Manchester United is more than a club, it is a city's heartbeat. Legends' spirits hover near the pitch, guardians of tradition. The faithful's anger has become determination carved in stone. Even distant fans feel the pull of this gathering storm. Debt chains rattle faintly, drowned by the chants. The Super League debacle remains a scar on football's face. Manchester's reign begins again, soft but insistent. Old Trafford's walls seem to breathe with the crowd's passion. The Glazers' power feels hollow against this rising tide. Green and gold ribbons twist like fire in the cold wind. The faithful vow this story will not end in silence. Every step taken tonight is another crack in corporate armor. Legends' photos watch over the crowd like silent witnesses. The theater of dreams is not a brand but a battleground. Corporate greed does not understand the power of memory. Even victories feel heavier now, burdened with meaning. The world watches as Manchester stands tall. FC United's chants drift faintly, a hymn of defiance. The Glazers may hold the keys, but the faithful hold the soul. The storm is gathering strength, the sky darkening once more. Old Trafford waits for the day its chains are broken. And as the night deepens, a single truth remains: United is not for sale. Dawn breaks again over Manchester, but the air feels electric. Old Trafford's walls glisten under a reluctant sun, wounded yet proud. Green and gold ribbons cling to railings, survivors of countless storms. The faithful walk these streets like pilgrims on sacred ground. Legends' names are carved into memory, unyielding as stone. Debt hangs like a cloud, but hope cuts through like lightning. The Glazers' fortress feels fragile against the heartbeat of a city. Every scar on this club tells a story of resilience. The theater of dreams breathes with defiance and dignity. Children's voices echo chants that outlive boardroom deals. The blockade of 2021 is etched in history, a rallying cry reborn. Even distant fans feel the pull of Manchester's unbroken spirit. FC United's tale whispers, rebellion can build, not just destroy. Corporate greed trembles beneath the weight of tradition. Every scarf raised is a flag of rebellion and devotion. The Super League's ashes blow across Europe as a warning. Legends' ghosts linger, watching the faithful's unbroken march. The city's rain washes streets but not resolve. Parents remind children, football belongs to the people. Debt may chain the club's body, but never its soul. The faithful's chants rise again, thunder beneath the clouds. Old Trafford's lights flare, a signal to the watching world. Manchester hums with a unity money can't buy. The Glazers' silence grows louder, a sign of crumbling certainty. Green and gold flames flicker brighter in the growing storm. Every match feels like another chapter in this long rebellion. Corporate power cannot outlast collective memory. The faithful march as legends once did on this ground. The theater of dreams stands as proof that magic resists control. Even rivals feel the gravity of this moment in football's story. Manchester's heartbeat echoes through empty corridors and crowded pubs. The blockade's embers glow, ready to ignite again. Debt rattles its chains but fails to drown the songs of the faithful. The world watches, learning what devotion truly means. Old Trafford waits, patient as only history can be. Green and gold scarves wave like torches against the wind. Every child in Manchester knows this fight is theirs to inherit. The Glazers may own shares, but they cannot own identity. The faithful's anger has transformed into a movement of generations. Legends' eyes in faded photos seem alive with approval. The theater of dreams whispers promises of future glory. Corporate greed has underestimated the power of memory. Manchester United stands, unbowed, unbroken, eternal. The storm passes briefly, but the sky remains restless. And as dawn settles, one truth resounds through Manchester's heart. United belongs to the people, always and forever. If this story moved you, leave a like to keep these legends alive. Comment your thoughts about Emiliano Sala's tragedy, and don't forget to subscribe. This is just the beginning of football's darkest secrets.